M. Night Shyamalan. Phew. We all know him, and we all either despise him or laugh at how ridiculously bad some of his movies are. I'm still in awe over how insane his transition from good to bad is. If you're watching this video and for some reason don't know about the living legend that is M. Night Shyamalan, let me give you a brief introduction. He's the person responsible for everyone saying,
"I see dead people."
And he's also responsible for this phenomenon.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
I've seen most of his films and can tell you that he has two great ones. One that, despite what everyone is telling you, is pretty decent. Yes, it has plot holes, but I mean, come on, so does Citizen Kane. And lately he has made some absolutely horrible movies. And then there's the ones that he made during his transition from good to bad, which also happens to be the ones that I've been afraid to watch. I haven't seen his latest movie either, but I doubt that I will, because I trust the judgment of YMS. But these two movies have intrigued me for some time. At the same time as I didn't really want to see them, I really want to have an honest opinion on his whole fuck up of a career. I want to be able to have a conversation about him using my own words. So I present to you my review of The Village. I wish that I had gone into this film with a clean slate, but I think that The Village, and most of Shyamalan's films for that matter, are films that are universally spoiled. So unfortunately I knew the big twists of The Village. I don't think I've ever read a full-length review of it before, so there were a lot of things about it that I didn't know. But since the internet exists, The Village was already spoiled for me. However, this way was as if I watched this movie for the second time, and this way I got to notice hints planted in script and dialogue. Kinda like when you watch The Sixth Sense for the second time, so that was interesting. And disregarding the fact that I knew the twists, The Village still got me. Like the action taking place that this scene is a repercussion of. Holy shit, I did not expect that at all. And another thing, the cinematography was fantastic. Basically, whenever you see this in the opening credits, you can expect for it to look amazing. The Village was no exception. It had some great one-ers as well, some great Spielberg one-ers, as Tony from Every Frame a Painting would call it. What that means is that it's long continuous shots that doesn't really draw attention to themselves. I like this one in particular. Although in the end of the scene they cut it to a pointless shot and then cut back to a new shot from the back. It felt really unnecessary, and I felt like they could have just had it all in one shot. Uh-oh, I'm nitpicking again. It really doesn't make the movie any worse, but I would like to know M. Night's motives for making that decision though. Moving on. I think that in order for me to give a full review of The Village, I would have to enter the spoiler village. So if you haven't seen it and want to, then please skip to this part of the video right now. Okay, so about the twists. What I hear people complaining about is the fact that the monsters make noises. But how can they make those kind of noises when they're just people in costumes? I have the same complaint. At first I thought it was just a nearby located army base or something. But then William Hurt tells Bryce Dallas Howard that they made noises themselves. And that doesn't make any sense. M. Night could have made a better job with that. I didn't understand why this guy was all stealthy and shit either. Was there a reason for him not to tell his supervisor about the escapee? Why were you sneaking around? And how the fuck did you not notice him grabbing shit from the desk, M. Night? You have peripheral vision. If someone opens a cabinet like 10 feet away from you, you notice it. Especially if it's a glass cabinet, because reflections. There's a window right there. Any living human being would notice this. I actually thought at first that M. Night was observing him trying to steal medicine. But nope. M. Night, what happened to you? Now, the twists on their own don't bother me that much. Only that the Elder's plan is flawed. I mean, how are they supposed to continue this scheme in the future when they die or become too old to fuck around with the people that are now getting older and smarter? Are they expecting that the younger adults will swallow it and scheme their own kids as well? But I still think it as something that real people are capable of doing. I mean, just look at the Angulo family. Anyway, overall I actually liked The Village. Yeah, the second half kind of dragged a little bit, but I think that was mainly because I already knew the twists. So I was just kind of waiting for them to be revealed. Because it was an M. Night Shyamalan film, I was half expecting it to be terrible, but it really surprised me. Like Science, I actually think it was pretty decent. And I think that the big reason for it getting a bad reputation is because of the trailers. They apparently gave people a completely different vision of what the final print was going to be. Kinda like they did with the Babadook. And that's why I don't watch trailers. Guys, don't watch trailers. They either spoil the movie or give you the wrong expectations. I enjoyed The Village, although I would like to share a funny anecdote about my viewing experience. Okay, so The Village isn't really a horror film, but it did have some tense moments. I saw it late at night and the credits started rolling at around 12:30 11:30 a.m. and literally 1 minute after I turned it off, our printer turned on by itself. I'm the only person still awake in the house, so I got legitimately scared for a second that there was someone else in the house. But it turned out that the printer cleans itself every once in a while and I caught it in action. That was a bit creepy, but in hindsight, it's pretty funny. Anyway, get ready for an Anthony Fantano style transition. Hey, daylight. I am not a vampire. How riveting. I'm not going to pick the next director. What do you know? Can we see that? Yeah, we can see that. Awesome, Paul Verhoeven. Nice. Alright, I'll see you next week.